Full Moon in Sagittarius, June 3rd, 2023. Written, directed, and produced by Reverend Dr Dikki-Jo Mullen. In this video, Reverend Mullen discusses the effects of the strawberry moon. The full moon affects the tides and weather based on the energies of the moon and stars in proximity to the Earth plane. Increased peculiar activity is often noted in emergency rooms and jail booking offices during days when the full moon's energy is present. Now, Dr. Mullen will share additional insights about the full moon in Sagittarius on June 3, 2023.
Hello, stargazers. I'm astrologer and paranormal investigator coming to you from Orlando, Florida with a special look at the full moon on June the 3rd of 2023. Each month, the full moon brings to fruition the promise of the new moon that we looked at 2 weeks ago, and it is the easiest way to see how astrology works. On the night of the full moon, anyone who works in a hospital will tell you it's their busiest night. It is a time when the tides and weather will show the effects of the stars and influences on us. Real good way to see astrology in action. So this full moon will be at 11:41 p.m., just before midnight, Eastern Daylight Time. And for those of you in other parts of the world, remember to do a bit of a correction. The full moons have names, different names for each month. That goes way back. The tradition touches Europe, the Native American teachings, and others to name the full moon as the first timekeeper in the heavens. This full moon on June the 3rd of 2023 is a strawberry moon. That sounds beautiful. It's not strawberry colored though. It's because the strawberries are ripening in some parts of the country. It's also called a dyad moon. Dyad is the concept of duality because the sun is in Gemini when the moon is full in Sagittarius, the sign of the twins, or two different faces. And the message is about the future self, expansion, synchronicities, mentioning messages from other dimensions. Just like the dimension of sight doesn't exist to a blind person, the dimension awareness of our world doesn't completely include other worlds all the time. We have a vague awareness of things like portals. This dyad moon emphasizes that. So as you gaze at the full strawberry moon, think about those ideas as we look at the chart. It is going to be at 13 degrees of Sagittarius, 18 minutes, and this is near the fixed star Rastaban. This is a star in the head of the constellation of the dragon. It represents property. It represents defense against violence. It's one of the four royal stars, Bohemian stars from Persia. It represents great influence over others. For those of us who are interested in mystery schools, occultism, esoteric Christianity, there can be some great realizations under the influence of this full moon. Looking at the chart of the full moon, we can see that the planet Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius. Pluto moves very slowly. It hits the cusp of Aquarius and Capricorn all year long. It's on a critical degree this month, a turning point for humanity. It is rising in this chart in many parts of the world, and it's affecting Aquarian people profoundly in terms of self-image and self-confidence. We have the planet Saturn and the planet Neptune in the second house in Pisces this month, which is all about values and how to manage income and possessions. And also there can be some confusion about what those topics mean overall, because Pisces is very Neptunian. Just like we can't see the god of the sea, he is in his own world. The planet Neptune reflects, as do all of the different planets and zodiac signs, mythological archetypes and their deeper truths. Looking at the third house, we have the sign of Aries there, which is all about new routes and transportation and new ideas, new ways to communicate for those who are heavily Aries. I'm doing some references to sun signs. That's the only part of the chart that most people know. And sun sign astrology gives us an overall view of our birth charts. It's the tip of the iceberg, but I thought that many of you might enjoy knowing how this full moon affects you. In the fourth house, we have Mercury and Uranus in the sign of Taurus, because this is near midnight in this time zone. That's all about roots, background, and to do with parents, how our childhood stays with us, how the inner child is affecting each of us. You Geminis, the full moon is in opposition to you. You're going to be dealing with those who are debating. Most of you Geminis never shut up. You like to talk all the time anyway. So you should enjoy the full moon, because there will be a lot of talking, a lot of conversation, especially about games, sports, hobbies, and maybe plans for the summer season ahead. Venus and Mars in Cancer affecting the seventh house will be very much involved in relationship issues and also health. And that is going to also be affecting Leo. There's something called, well, it depends on the part of the world that you're in. And I don't want to get too technically involved in astrology. You'll have to trust me when I explain that this affects the signs of Cancer and Leo in a couple of different ways, and that it deals with partnership and teamwork, but also with health and the care of pets and the organization of service. Moving ahead to Virgo, there's an interest in managing invested money and anything to do with truth-seeking, finding out what's really there. Libra, you're going to be having a sort of a crisis of faith this month. You'll be wondering what you really believe in. Some of you might visit other places of worship or different types of meditation circles. Scorpio, you're going to be interested in career contacts, maybe networking with those that can help you to advance professionally, and about fame and fortune. Sagittarians, you're going to be focusing on anything to do with what you really want and managing your emotions. And you Capricorns are going to want some peace, quiet time, and privacy. You might enjoy deep times of meditation in a solitary environment, perhaps outdoors, or maybe in your own sacred space. And this is Dikki-Jo wishing everybody a bright and positive full moon experience. And remember, the full moon affects the next 2 weeks.
Reverend Dr. Dikki-Jo Mullen, astrologer, psychic, and parapsychologist. Dr. Mullen provides the following services: astrology, psychic, rune, and tarot card readings, face-to-face and Zoom readings and seances, and webinars and face-to-face presentations. Thank you for watching. Reverend Dr. Dikki-Jo Mullen can be contacted at her skymaiden@juno.com email address. She also has a Facebook page, which she invites you to view, and her WordPress site, where she has additional resources.